This is a journey.
Let me take you on a journey.
There will still be
The journey.
New sheriff in town, and his name is The Journey.
Journey.
This thing is bigger than Nino Brown. This is The Journey.
The journey.
What is it that moved you?
The Journey. The Journey. The Journey. The Journey.
Success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome. That quote came from the late great Arthur Ashe. Today on The Journey, we have two brothers, twins actually, Johnathan and Jarrett Logan of Castle Black Construction. These gentlemen are philanthropists, they're musicians, and they're also project managers. And they have one of the most amazing, fastest growing construction companies in Memphis. Born and raised right here. Memphis grown, Memphis bred. So listen, stay right here. And we're going to be talking to Johnathan and Jarrett Logan of Castle Black Construction. Johnathan Logan.
Hey, man.
Castle Black in the house.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. So how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good, man.
Good. So the first segment, as you know, is the rapid fire segment.
All right.
So we're going to kind of get to the crust, and then we're going to bring your brother on and kind of start to see where the stories might differ a little bit.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So first off, where were your early years spent, and what do you remember about that community?
So I was born, well, I wasn't born, but I grew up in Lakeview Gardens.
Okay.
And what I remember about that time.
Is that South Memphis?
Yes, that's South Memphis.
Okay.
That's south of South Memphis. So yeah, it's actually close to the state line. So,
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just remember the fun times, man, with
really?
the boys and the girls. And honestly, man, one of the biggest influences of that time was my time in the band, man, at Westwood.
Oh, so you were a musician as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So outside of your parents, who had the biggest impact on you?
So kind of like I just mentioned.
Okay.
Both my brother and I were in the band at Westwood.
Okay.
And Mr. Ricky Richardson, the band director, had a very big impact.
Okay. What was some of the things that he imparted to you?
Well, the main thing was discipline.
Okay.
Obviously, in the band, we have to practice and, we have to make formations and everything. But Westwood back then was the baddest band in the land, and we didn't get there just by being just a regular old, type of band. Everybody in that band was disciplined, and the motto that he gave was more than music. Even though we were in the band and we play music, he really taught us life lessons.
Wow. So he really had an impact,
yes,
not only in the music side, but throughout your life.
Yeah, that's correct.
Got a real different kind of question for you here.
All right.
So your life, every kid has dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You think about being a football player, basketball player,
mm-hmm,
a musician, or a doctor, lawyer. How different are you from the dreams of your childhood?
Wow. How different am I?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I'm drastically different.
Okay.
Very early on, I always knew that I wanted to have my own business.
Okay.
I just didn't know what.
Mm-hmm.
But I always wanted to be a leader, and I always wanted to be the one that takes charge.
Okay.
Again, I'm bringing up that band. I wanted to be drum major.
Okay.
I wanted to lead the band.
Okay.
And I was able to do that at Westwood. And I left Westwood and I was drum major in college too as well.
Okay. And where'd you go to school?
Jackson State.
Okay.
University.
JSU.
Sunny Boom of the South.
All right. Oh, shoot, he didn't mess around. So Dion's down there. So this is his heyday for Jackson State.
Hey, look, it is time for us now. It's time.
Okay.
So.
Okay. We make decisions in our lives that we really don't know the impact of them. What decision can you remember that you made as a younger person that ended up having a life-altering impact, although you didn't know it at the time?
So one of the things that I learned, and it's kind of a broad range answer.
Okay.
But I learned early on to never quit.
Okay.
And just that decision of deciding not to quit has helped me drive along in my personal life and my business life.
Give me an example.
For instance, business is hard.
Right.
It's a struggle.
Right.
But I've learned that there's only one sure thing about quitting, is that if you quit, you will never achieve that goal.
Right.
So just that simple notion there has brought me a long way.
Johnathan Logan, what's your why? Why do you get up every day and fight the good fight every single day? Because everybody could lay in the bed.
Right.
And I'm sure you've done well enough at this point. You could probably lay in the bed for a few days.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've never thought about quitting. I mean, we all have tough times, and we're human beings, and it's our nature to sometimes to just want to give up. But what drives me is that knowing that not only do I have myself and my family that are dependent on me, but there are other people as well.
Okay.
So that drives me, knowing that not only am I responsible for myself being the president of my company, there's others too. So the decisions that I make impact not only me, but those who I lead as well.
All right. Now, this is the last question.
Sure.
So I want you to think about it. Before I get to that one, I'm going to ask you another one.
Sure.
What's your most prominent memory of you and your brother as a childhood?
Most prominent memory.
Something that just stands out. The two of you guys.
Man, I have a lot of those.
Fond memory. That story that keeps coming back. That story that keeps y'all just can't. Y'all just be dying laughing every time.
Oh wow, man. That's a good one, man.
Okay,
that's a good one. I gotta.
All right. Well, I'm gonna ask you when you bring your brother in.
Okay.
But listen, here's another one. I want you to think about. When was the first time you realized you were black?
Wow. That was early on.
Okay.
Very early on. I would say the moment that I've known of my existence,
Hold on for a second. Listen, this is the journey.
Okay.
With Johnathan and Jarrett Logan.
Okay.
Now, we're going to come back and we're going to ask Johnathan and Jarrett, when was the first time they realized? But that's when we bring them back together. So listen, stay right there. We got to pay some bills. But this is The Journey on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
The Journey. 3.
He was cheating, and back then they had a little bit more decorum and discretion.
B.
These days they don't even.
Well, they played their
care.
positions.
C.
And if you get you some goodies outside, whatever, the agreement is, I don't know about it. You keep it private, and it never comes to this house.
3BC. 3 Black Chicks on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
Little brother.
What's going
Jarrett
on?
Logan.
How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm absolutely wonderful.
Great.
Man. So, this is the rapid fire segment.
This is the rapid fire.
So, when I'm
Gotcha.
telling you, man, your brother says some really terrible things about you.
Oh man, hey, look, I'm gonna say all positive things about him though.
Good. When they go low, you go high.
Exactly.
All right. So starting off,
Yeah.
where were your early years spent, and what do you remember about that community?
Early years, high school, Westwood,
Westwood.
Ricky Richardson,
Okay.
great guy,
Now, who's Ricky Richardson?
band director, Westwood
Okay.
High School.
Okay.
I spent a lot of my time. I went to Westwood from 7th through 12th.
Okay.
So basically, junior high all the way through high school.
You were there. You
I
had
was
a
there.
memorial locker and everything.
All the bells and whistles. Spent a lot of time there. I was in the band, Johnathan and I.
Okay.
And thinking back, I can attribute a lot of my childhood development to my time in the band, and
Oh, really?
being with Mr. Richardson every single day
Wow.
after school, going over music, marching.
Okay.
More importantly, developing discipline.
Okay.
It could have been one of those things where I decided not to join anything. I could have went to basketball, football, but for some reason I chose band. And it was one of the best decisions I think both of us made.
Okay.
Growing up in the band. And
Well, hold on. We're going to unpack it. We're going to unpack it.
I'm
We gonna
sorry.
unpack it. We
This
gonna
is
unpack it. We
rapid
gonna
fire,
unpack-
so I was about to give you. Got you.
So outside of parents,
Yeah.
outside of Mr. Richardson,
Yeah.
who had the biggest impact on your life?
Outside of parents, outside of Mr. Richardson, I would probably say my twin brother.
Oh, really?
I told you I was going to say positive things. Didn't I?
Okay,
Didn't I?
so in what way?
It was just somebody that I had to grow up with. Somebody that I could learn with. Somebody that I could learn mistakes from that he made that I decided not to make those same mistakes, and vice versa. I would even move further away from him. I would say my other siblings. Johnathan and I, we're the last two of 8 kids.
Of 8 kids?
Of 8.
Oh, wow.
And we're the
Okay.
youngest.
Okay.
So, growing up, I was able to see them in their adulthood and, learn positive things about what they did and some of the negative things. And I was smart enough to say, hey,
But you the baby.
I'm the baby. I'm the last one.
You the last one of the
By
last.
1 minute, man. I couldn't come out first. I had to come out second. Hey.
All right.
It's okay.
Okay. So every kid,
Yeah.
you make decisions, and some decisions turn out good, some decisions turn out bad. But what decision did you make that you had no idea was going to have such a lasting impact on your life? A decision you made as a younger person. And you look back and you say, wait a minute, if I hadn't have done that.
Making the decision to go to college.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that ever a doubt?
It was a doubt.
Okay.
I wasn't the smartest kid.
Okay.
I wasn't the smartest kid by far.
Okay.
I wasn't the brightest crayon in the coloring box. I was average.
Okay.
And when I say average, I never made honor roll, not one single time, ever.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
So actually,
I was a C, D, sometimes a B student.
So what I hear you saying is what you did as a young kid in school was not a predictor.
It was not a predictor of my life now.
Right.
Absolutely not. What I consider a predictor of my life is my determination to be somebody.
Okay.
You know,
What percentage would you give that to your older brother? Your directly older brother, your twin brother.
my twin brother, Johnathan, has helped me a lot.
Okay.
I don't mind saying some of the things that he's done for me.
Okay.
Johnathan has taken the ACT for me.
Uh-oh.
He's taken the SAT for me. I'm a twin brother. He looks just like me. He takes my driver's license and go in and takes the ACT and makes the score.
Oh, wow.
I did what I had to do to make it, right?
Right. That is it. Now, that's a revelation right there.
Absolutely.
Now, do your parents and all them know that he did any of that?
I'll tell anybody. Like everybody knows. You know, I've told this story 1,000,001 times, and
Okay.
it's just one of those things that I wanted to do. I wanted to go to college.
Uh-huh.
I knew I had to get the ACT score. I took it maybe once or twice. I didn't make it.
Okay.
And Johnathan made it on his first try. Johnathan was a better student in school than I was.
Okay.
So, all throughout high school.
So were you a better musician than Johnathan?
I was probably I was. So I played saxophone. John played trombone.
Okay.
I do think I was better on my instrument than Johnathan was. Yeah.
Give me a time in you all's life where y'all got in trouble together and you would blame it all on him.
We never done that.
Okay.
I can't recall. Now, you may have asked him and he may have thought of something, but I just can't recall a time where I got in trouble and I blamed him for it. Like, we're twins. We came out the womb together and we stick together and we do just about everything together. I've never done anything to cause him harm. He's never done anything to cause me harm. So, I can't think of anything that
that's cool.
I got in trouble for and I turned around and blamed him for.
Okay.
I can think of some things that I've done that we've done and somebody else told on us.
All right.
Man, hold on.
All right.
Man, look, I just got to tell this.
Okay.
One time I was cheating.
Okay.
We were in French class and I was cheating, right?
Okay.
I had the answers wrote in my hand. I can't remember how we got the answers, but I had them wrote in my hand.
Okay.
I got caught.
Okay.
This girl, I'm not going to say her last name, but her first name is Erica.
Okay.
She blurts out, they twins. You might want to check both of them.
Oh, wow.
He got caught too.
Okay, now we're gonna take it. We're gonna take it back. Oh man, we done had so much fun. We done got too far. But hold on, let's go through these quick.
Okay, come on.
All right,
come on, let's do it.
In your dreams of a child, how different are you from your dreams as a young man? You know, everybody got a dream of being an athlete, a doctor, lawyer.
Yeah.
How different are you from your dreams as a kid?
I wouldn't say I was much different from my dreams as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I wanted to be in the building industry in some form, whether it was an architect, engineer, or a general contractor, one or the other. And I attribute that to one of my childhood friends' father.
Okay.
He's an engineer. Again, same story almost. He grew up in a single-parent home, but he did have his father around. Okay. Although they weren't together, his father was present. And I can just recall times where he would come back in town and he would come and get his son. And when he got his son, he would get all three of us and, just talk to us about his business and how well he's doing and talk about engineering and structures and construction. And it intrigued me a lot. Okay. And that's kind of what drove me towards a life in design and construction, because I actually didn't start in construction. I started off working for architect firms, designing buildings and homes and things of that nature, and kind of moved from that into construction.
Okay. What's your why? Why do you get up every morning?
Why? I get up because I have a legacy to leave my children.
All right.
I think about my life and I think about their life, and here's one of the things that my wife and I talk about a lot, and it's like a balance, because we talk about how rough we had it and the things that we had to learn, kind of the street savviness that we had to develop. And it's a struggle between the lifestyle that we give our kids now, because they don't have those struggles and they're provided for.
Right.
But we still want them to have that savviness. And, so I get up every morning and I try and leave something for them, but I'm not going to just hand it to them.
I got you.
I want my kids to come into my business and, start from the bottom.
But we gonna unpack all this when we bring your brother on. But I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
And I got a good feeling that you going to answer this in a way that no one has ever answered before.
You put me on the spot, man.
Jarrett, when was the first time you realized you were black?
Wow. First time I realized I was black.
Mm-hmm. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Gotcha.
Listen, we're going to be back. We're going to be back with both Johnathan and Jarrett. And we're going to start it off with that same question. And we're going to let them answer when the first time they realized that they were black. Right here on The Journey on the KUDZUKIAN Network. So don't go nowhere because it's about to get hot in here. Talk to you in a second. Stay right there.
The Journey. Keeping it real, right, and funky.
But we have all of this voter turnout, people turning out to vote for the first time. But what I always say is, okay, now that Election Day has passed, now the real work begins.
Funky Politics on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
KUDZUKIAN!
Welcome back to The Journey on the KUDZUKIAN Network. I'm your host, Larry Robinson. And today we have the brothers, the twin brothers of Castle Black Construction. We have Johnathan and Jarrett Logan right here in the studio.
Yeah. What's up, man?
What's happening? So look, when I left both of you guys, the very last question was, tell me the time that you realized you were black. But I'm going to change that question a little bit.
Let's see.
Tell me the time that you realized you were black because it was used against you.
Because it was used against me. You know, man, I got countless stories, but, you know, two that I can think of right off top was, you know.
Two?
Yeah, two. I can recall when my mama used to have an old Plymouth, green, like 60-something. And
is he telling the truth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we got pulled over
Okay.
by a white cop.
Okay.
And I can't remember what for. Of course, I was young, and, you know, I didn't understand a lot about it. But
Right.
the language he was using with my mother and the threats that he gave her, telling her that, you know, he would pull her out of the car and put her on the ground and take those little black,
unprovoked.
Yeah, take those little black boys out of the car and send them to juvenile, and, you know, you won't ever see them again, and this, that, and the other. And, you know, that was one of the moments that stuck with me and that I can remember, and I'm almost certain I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life. Another one would probably be, you know, man, I was probably in the 10th grade. We were doing a floor show down in, I think it was maybe Crenshaw.
What's a floor show?
So it's basically when bands do a drill or presentation inside of a gym.
Okay.
So
So instead of a field show,
it's called a floor show.
It's called a floor show since it's inside of a gym.
Yeah, and so, you know, we used to do those type of competitions all the time when we were.
So actually, music really played a very foundational
music
role.
played a big part of my life. You know, man, my wife talks to me all the time. You know, all you do is play music, and, you know, I try to talk to her about, you know, listening to different sounds and hearing different things in the music, and she can't hear nothing but the words. I'm like, so you don't hear those strings?
Well, you know, they always say musicians are great mathematicians. So the fact that you guys in project management, construction, it kind of makes sense, architecture. So go ahead, tell them the story.
But man, anyway, after this floor show, everybody got back on the bus and we were going to eat. It was dark, and I can remember the restaurant that we pulled up at, but it was white people there eating, and the way they grabbed their kids, and the way they clutched their purses, and ran up out of the restaurant and locked their doors because they saw a lot of black people coming towards them.
Wow. How did that make you feel? As a kid, what do you remember about that feeling?
As a kid, nothing. The same way to do these kids now. They don't feel nothing, you know.
Okay.
But when I got older and I thought back and I experienced more and I could think back on those moments, I could see that they had an effect on, you know, the way I view people. And when I say people, you know, people that are not black.
Right.
You know, it made me less reserved with them. It kind of made me shy away from it, and in some instances, afraid to develop those relationships with them because of the way not just those moments, but society in general, you know.
So let me ask you.
And that's another hurdle that I had to overcome as an adult.
Right.
Not as a kid.
Right.
But as an adult, I had to overcome that.
Right. Those memories of childhood.
Yeah.
Big brother, Johnathan.
Yeah.
You got any memories of when you were felt or that being black was held against you? I want to ask you about your professional career, because it's got to be unique being a black-owned construction company doing the size of projects that you guys are doing. Make no mistake about it, these brothers are big time. And so when I would like to ask you, any opportunity to see that on the corporate side or the business side?
You know, I'll share this story with you. And this kind of bothers me.
Okay.
If we look at the city of Memphis, right?
Right.
The city of Memphis is the majority black, right?
Yeah.
And what really gets me and what irks me is that in order for black people to get work from the government, from the city, and from the county, we have to have a MBWE program.
Absolutely.
You know, we have to have a minority participation program,
right,
just to ensure that people of my skin color get projects.
Right.
So
why does that bother you?
I mean, because why do we need that?
Okay. Well, what I would say is that they would say that people will use it and defraud and use it for nefarious reasons to get opportunities. But how does it make you feel having to be certified?
So it makes me feel unpleasant because it shouldn't be that way. You know, I mean, you know,
I call it the black tax.
This is 2021.
Yeah.
This is 2021. We're talking about things that should have been happening when Dr. King was here.
Right.
You know?
Right.
50 plus years ago, man. Why are we still having to do this? So as a black business owner, that bothers me because that should not be a need.
Give me an instance where that became an issue for you.
Well, you know, I won't say, you know, on the business sense as far as getting work, it's not a problem because it helps me do what I want to do and need to do for the people that work for us.
Right.
But it just bothers it bothers my spirit that we have to have that.
Right.
Just to get the work.
Just to get the work.
And I think kind of what Johnathan is trying to say is, you know, we don't want to grow our business and develop our business and be looked at as a entity that's growing because we're black. We want to be judged by the content of our character.
Right.
And not by the color of our skin.
Right.
We want to gain work by our experience, our qualifications, and not because we're black.
Right.
You know, when I go to a meeting that's held by a governmental entity, I don't want to go there because I'm black.
Right. Right.
You know, minority participation.
Right.
I want to go there because I'm qualified and I'm able to produce the work.
Right.
That's it.
Well, listen, I want to take y'all back. So tell me about the household, because y'all had 6 other siblings, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about the household. Mother, father, brothers and sisters. What did it look like?
All right. So household. Johnathan and I started off, we were born in 2-lane apartments. That's where we started.
Okay.
The brother before us is 16 years older than we are.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
There's a 16-year gap
There's a 16-year gap between
the first 6.
Child number 6
and
us.
Wow. So y'all were really like only kids.
So we were we were pretty much the only kids.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with my niece.
Okay.
I'm 41. My niece is 40.
Okay.
I grew up with my niece. It was almost like mom and dad. Excuse me. It was almost like mom and daughter were pregnant at the same time, almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is different.
It's different, isn't it? It's different.
So tell me about that home life. What did it impart in you two that you think gave y'all something different?
So let me take.
Hold on. Let me.
Wait a minute, bro.
Let me just say this.
I got this.
Let me just say this one little bit of piece.
Go ahead. All right, go ahead.
What I would say is,
okay,
and I think my other siblings would agree with this.
Okay.
I love my mother to death, but I think my other 6 siblings had a different mother than we had.
Okay. Good or bad?
Good.
Okay.
It was good.
Was she chilled out when she got to you guys?
She was more chill.
Okay.
She had stopped smoking. She was closer to God.
Okay.
Although we didn't have anything because we were still poor, but, the things that she was able to impart on us, I think more so than she was able to impart on the other kids, had a more profound on us than it did the other 6. So.
And what were you going to say?
So,
Big brother.
Well, I just wanted to tell this story. Okay. So in 2019, I want to say we were recognized as the CEO and COO of the year for a company with 50 employees or less, right?
Okay.
And when we got up there, we told a story about our mother. What was unique about my mother is my mother was a go-getter. She did what she had to do to make ends meet.
Absolutely.
And to make sure that we had what we needed to have in order to survive.
Right.
Jarrett mentioned earlier about the green Plymouth. He didn't mention that out of the trunk of that green Plymouth, my mom sold candy. She sold snowballs, slushies, cookies. She sold that stuff out of the trunk of the car in order to make ends.
So she was the real candy lady.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when we received that award, our drive and our hustle was dedicated, and that award was dedicated to her for those actions that she took while Jarrett and I was a child.
That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me a fond memory of you guys during that time. I mean, young boys at the house doing what young boys do.
I mean, man, it was a regular childhood. I mean, just being able to go outside and play basketball and football, man.
Okay. Yeah, man, just like we have kids, and I look at kids today, they don't do none of the things that we did growing up. Man, like
how many kids?
So I have a total of 4.
Okay.
I have 2 sons that I brought into my marriage, and my wife, she has 2 daughters that she brought into the marriage. So,
first marriage, second marriage?
Third marriage.
Yeah. Okay, the trifecta.
The trifecta.
Third time is a charm.
Look.
And just to show you how different we are, I'm still on number 1, and I've been married 15 years now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So there is a difference between the two. Jarrett and Johnathan, for the record, Jarrett and Johnathan are not the same people.
We are not the same people. Right. Our lives are different.
Okay, so what's the biggest difference you would say that you have that's different than Johnathan?
I would say Johnathan made better decisions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Johnathan, earlier when I did previous segment, I talked about some of the things that Johnathan has helped me with. Like, that has been throughout my entire life.
Wow. Okay.
Like, even when, Johnathan decided at a late age in life to go join the Army. And I wasn't happy with it. We were, we had been in business for maybe, we started business in 2005. We had been in business maybe 4 years. We were young. We made a lot of money building houses, and we didn't save any money. We was young and dumb.
Okay.
Spent all the money. The economy tanked. We had nothing to fall back on. Johnathan decided he was going to go join the Army. Now, keep in mind, he was married with a little baby in the house.
Right.
I felt like it was the worst decision he could possibly make, and I said some really harsh things to Johnathan about their decision. You know, man, you know, you're going to leave your wife and you're going to leave your daughter, some other.
Right. Jody.
I said some words.
Jody
gonna be coming in and calling your daughter his daughter.
Her daddy.
She gonna be calling him dad and this, that, and other.
Oh, wow. You went there with it.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Wait a minute. How did you feel?
I mean, obviously, it wasn't the most pleasant thing, but, you know, I knew what I had to do. So.
Have you two ever fought?
Yeah, I mean, we.
As kids, we like fist fought. You know.
I mean, y'all who won?
I did.
See, remember when I came in here and I told you I was gonna say nothing but positive things about my brother? Right. I'm still gonna do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ask. Okay. So y'all growing up, what was the pivotal moment that you guys said, you know what, I know band was important, so we're gonna make this move to Jackson State? And was it ever a thought that you guys were going to go to separate schools?
So hold on. I got this one, man. So,
oh my God,
man. So everything with us, man, it was always around the band.
Okay.
And I promise you, we probably would not be where we are right now if
had it not been for that.
For the band, man. And so we took that from high school all the way to college.
Okay.
So we knew that there was only one of two places that we wanted to be at.
Right.
One of them was Jackson State.
Okay.
And the other one was FAMU.
Okay.
But our number one goal.
Marching 100.
But our number one goal was Jackson State.
Okay.
Right. And man, like Jerry and I have just been so fortunate, man. And I tell my wife all the time, I think God has favor on us.
Okay.
Because it's like everything that we've
now wait a minute. Now let's not act like y'all without some little stank on you now, because I heard about the ACT.
No.
Well, I mean, all right. So hold on. Let me pick up where you because even though we knew that we wanted to go to college, like we still had to have the grades in the ACT score to even get in.
Right.
Like, so when we decided that we was going to go to Jackson State. We didn't have any money. We had to at least get some type of scholarship. So we was gonna go in audition for the Sonic Boom.
Right.
That's what we did. Check this out. We get to Jackson State to audition. Nervous. Keep in mind, I ain't never been on college campus. Like, I'm nervous. I get to Jackson State. I walk into this band director's office, and he said, "Son, you don't even have to pull your instrument out. I've been watching y'all for a long time. I'm going to give you and your brother a scholarship to come to Jackson State along with this other guy from Atlanta. I want y'all to play y'all instrument y'all freshman year, and I'm going to make all three of y'all drum major y'all sophomore year. I've been paying that much attention to you."
Wow.
Yeah. I never pulled my instrument out of the case.
So what that says to me is that for you young folks that's out there, that you never know who's watching.
You never know who's watching.
Never know.
Never know.
So I got to unpack, man. We got to unpack all this, man. Y'all got too much. I got too much. So
unpack it.
When did you know that you were going to be okay? When did you know that you were going to be a success in life?
Remember when I told you that we had a different mother than my other siblings?
Right.
I've always known that. She's instilled that in us since day one.
Okay, so
just
I wanted to reiterate on that, but
just to keep it frank, it was her mission to make sure that we had a different upbringing and outcome than the previous six.
Okay.
And I'm not here to bash my older brothers and sisters.
Right.
But out of the eight children, we're the only ones to finish college.
Okay.
Out of the total 8, there was one other that went to college.
Okay.
But not finished college.
Now you guys have never mentioned Dad. What's up with Dad?
So Dad was not in the picture
at all.
Well, Dad came in the picture maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Now that's not to say that we didn't have a father figure, because we did, and to this day, he's our father.
Okay.
When we were teenage boys, it's actually my mom's first cousin.
Okay.
He took us under his wing and molded us and gave us things that my mother couldn't give us.
Right.
Unpack
that. What you mean? What did he give you guys?
Come on, man. You're a man. All those things
but this ain't for me. We talking to the folks. We talking to folks that's listening.
All right, so taking care of a family.
What is a man?
Being a provider.
What is it? Being a provider.
Right. Being a provider. Being able to take heat. Yeah. Being able to
take heat. Come on. Take heat. What does that mean? Take heat.
As a man journeys through life, he's gonna experience some things that he thinks that he shouldn't be experiencing. Whether it's with his kids, whether it's with his wife, whether it's with his ex-wife, whether it's on the job. Mm-hmm. But you still have to stay the course and persevere.
Okay.
And those are some of the, looking at that, those are some of the tools that he was able to kind of talk to us and nurture us about.
Right.
And not only talk to us about it, but demonstrate it. Okay. It's one thing for somebody to talk to you about one thing, but to actually see it in action,
right,
is a totally different thing.
And so, one of the things that I got from him is, man, he works hard. Right. He works real hard, and not only did he work hard, whenever he brought us with him, he made sure that we worked hard too, and I think that carried over into the business that we have now.
What does success look like for you guys? Well, how would you define your life being a success?
So I would define my success is kind of like I said in my first segment, being able to do those things that are required to keep my business going, so that the people who work for me can provide for their families.
Okay.
So it's not about just me; it's about the entire team.
Okay, less about me, all about
the
we.
Team. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about you, little brother?
I'm gonna tell you what success is for me.
Okay.
Success is balance.
Okay.
It's not money. It's not being able to do all the things that people with a lot of money do. It's about balance. It's being able to provide for your family and take care of your body. Because if you don't have your health,
right,
you don't have nothing.
Right.
And being able to fulfill the things that not only your kids need, but your wife.
Right.
Seeing after your parents. It has for me, success has absolutely nothing to do with money, because I've seen far too many times that, people that have accumulated tons of money are still miserable.
What's your biggest success?
My biggest success right now, to date, because my kids aren't grown yet,
okay,
I would say meeting my wife.
Okay. All right. I got a different kind of question for you.
Shoot.
He got divorced twice.
Mm-hmm.
How did that make you feel?
Well,
the first time.
Honestly, it didn't make me feel any kind of way. I mean, I
you didn't go through any kind of pain for your little brother?
Well, I felt bad for him.
Why you call me little brother, man? He only like 1 minute older than me, man.
Well, you the last one out the womb. You the last one, so you the little brother.
I mean, man, I felt bad for him and everything. But honestly, I knew that he still had some more growing to do. So yeah. So I knew, I just knew the things that he was going through would only make him a better person. And I think, and I've told this same story before. I'm his brother. So I can see the growth in him from his first marriage to his second one and now to his third. And I see the growth. I see how things have changed. And, and
did you have a coming to Jesus meeting with your little brother?
No, I didn't. I didn't need to. I mean, I think we kind of vibe off each other and you know, and kind of tell what we're thinking, you know. But you know, I think now he's in a very good space.
Yeah, I would add, you know, a lot of times people think that because we're twins, that we live identical lives.
Right.
And it's just not the case.
Well, that's why I wanted to have you guys separate.
Yeah. You know, like Johnathan has a really good story, but I have a really good story too.
Okay.
You know, I have a lot of wisdom when it comes to love, marriage, and relationships because I've been there.
Okay.
You know, I know what it's like to witness death and not know what to do because I've never lost anybody that was close to me.
Right.
Never. So I know what it feels like to be lost and not know how to give comfort to your spouse because you ain't never lost nobody.
Right.
Like I know what it feels like.
Right.
So I can kind of talk to somebody else and be like, hey,
right,
you got to give it some time.
Right.
You know,
right.
So I have those type of stories that I can impart on somebody else. You know, now Johnathan might not have that particular story, but he has others. So we're identical twins, but our lives are not identical at all.
We're going to switch this up a little bit. So we coming to the end of this interview. So typically I like to ask, what would you say to your younger self? But I'm going to switch it up. Johnathan, what would you say to the younger Jarrett? If you could go back and talk to him at 10 years old, what would you say to the younger Jarrett?
All right. I would just say, you know, to the younger Jarrett, man, just stay strong. Keep your head on and work on that temper.
Okay. All right, Jarrett.
Yeah.
You can still go low. You ain't got to stay high now. You ain't got to stay high. So what would you say?
He just told it, you know, so if it's ever some beef and you need some handle, I'm the one to call. He's
the calm one. He's going to talk about it. He's going to talk about it.
So
I'm the cleanup man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm the cleanup man. I have to come clean up behind him.
I got you.
All right. So if it was some advice that I had that I would impart upon a 10-year-old Johnathan, it would be this. We got several deals that we lost. Like, no, I'm back up.
Okay.
If there was something that I know now that I could tell the younger Johnathan, I would probably say, keep going the course that you're going.
Wow.
That's what I would say.
That's a heck of a compliment.
I see where you're going, and I see what you're doing. Stay that same course. Don't deviate.
All right. Now, the last question.
Shoot.
You're talking to young boys, young men, and they're watching you, and they're listening to you. What would you want to leave them with today, at this time, at this moment, Johnathan?
I really don't want to sound like a broken record, man. I don't. But I have to say this again. Don't quit. Don't quit. If you have a dream, if you have something that you want to accomplish, stay the course. Do what you have to do to get there. It's not going to be easy.
Right.
But there's only one guaranteed thing with quitting. If you quit, you will never make it.
Right. And that is a guarantee.
That's a guarantee.
Jarrett?
And I'm going to piggyback off what Johnathan said.
Okay.
Now, but I'm going to give a story with that.
Okay.
Because, like, we're outdoorsmen as well. Like, we like to hunt. We like to fish. We do all those things.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, we'll go fishing and, you know, we won't catch anything. And, you know, I'll have a desire to go back fishing and fish more.
Right.
And I always say, you ain't catching no fish if you ain't out there.
Right. Right.
If you ain't going, you ain't catching them.
Right.
At all. I would say this, because Johnathan mentioned stand the course, but I'm going to take it a little bit further. You got to know when to quit. Now, I'm not saying quit on your dreams. That's not what I'm saying. You can't keep making the same mistakes over and over again.
And expecting different results.
And expecting a different result. It's okay to fail. I just finished talking to my sons about this just last night. It is okay to fail. Do you understand that when Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, do you understand how many times he failed?
Right.
You have to fail in order to know what does not work.
Mm-hmm. All right.
You have to fail to know what don't work.
All right, Reb.
So you gotta fail. Like failing is just a part of life. Like
absolutely, that's a part of success.
Yeah.
That's a part of success.
But just like Johnathan said, like you can't lose sight of your dream. You just gotta keep going and don't quit.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Don't quit. Stay the course. That's what we keep bringing you on the journey. Every single time you hear about how these successful black men have had to climb that mountain, and they fell down a few times, skinned their knees a few times, made decisions that they would like to pull back, but nevertheless, what you've heard is that they keep going. And so we're going to keep bringing these journeys to you, and hopefully one of them will touch you, if not multiple. Listen, this is Larry Robinson, and you've been listening to The Journey on the KUDZUKIAN Network.
The Journey, hosted by Larry Robinson. Executive producer, the Delta Boulay.